Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to talk about staying up to date with your AR and your AR mounted optic with the various different types of ammunition you've had to buy during this shortage. Stick around. Alright, so today we'll be taking the FN15 with my Strike Eagle from Vortex 1:8 variable optic to the range, and I'll be testing out these four different types of ammo that I bought, 223 and 5.56. I would typically try to stay with the same type ammo to put through this rifle to stay consistent, to know where it hits at what distances. But during the past year and a half, as I'm sure you're well aware of, there's been a shortage because of the pandemic. So I was forced to buy whatever was on the shelves or available online. So I want to see if there's a drastic point of impact difference with all this different type of ammo. And I also wanted to touch upon the Strike Eagle from Vortex, the 1:8 variable optic, which is a second focal plane optic compared to a first focal plane optic. If you're not familiar with optics, which I'm fairly new to optics myself, I was always an iron sight guy. The reticle, basically, this has an etched reticle. It also illuminates. The second focal plane, the reticle stays the same size no matter what magnification you're on, which is good for hunting, but it's not to true scale unless you're at the maximum power, which is 8 on this one. Whereas the first focal plane, the reticle stays to scale the entire time, no matter what magnification you're at, but the reticle also shrinks with the target when you zoom out. It's better for competition style shooting, but not really so much for hunting because the reticle is tough to see when you pull all the way out on it. This one also has a really cool reticle, the Ar15 reticle. It's etched, illuminates, like I said before. You have holdover lines and you have windage lines. The point, no matter what magnification you're at, it stays zeroed at whatever distance that you're zeroed at. And it also has a ranging etched on the top there up to 600 yards, so you can range your targets as long as you're zoomed all the way out, so you're at full scale, which is really cool. So let's get this baby to the range and see what she can do. All right, so here we are at the club. The different types of ammo that I have that I got during the shortage, whatever was on the shelves at shops I frequent or online that I could find, was this 223 PMC bronze, 223 55 grain, 2,900 feet per second. Then I got some 5.56 55 grain Winchester M193, 3,180 feet per second. Then I get some steel case Tula ammo, 223 55 grain. Let's see, does it give me velocity on here? I do not think it does. Probably should have looked that up before I left. Well, anyways, some steel case Tula ammo. And then I have these green tips, M855 green tips, 5.56, 62 grain, 3,060 feet per second from Winchester. All right, so let's get a target set up downrange and see if there's any difference in impact with these rounds with just what you have laying around in a shortage type situation. All right, let me go hang that and I'll be right back. All right, so I get this mag loaded up with 3 rounds of each type of ammunition. On top is the PMC bronze. Below that is the 55 grain 5.56 Winchester. Below those are the Winchester green tip 62 grain, and below that is the Tula 223 55 grain. We'll see if there's any drastic point of impact differences between the rounds at 50 yards. This optic should be still zeroed at 50 yards. All right, here we go. So with this second focal plane optic, the dot is zeroed. No matter what magnification you're at, the dot in the middle is zeroed for whatever yardage you zeroed it at. But the holdover lines and the windage lines are not to scale unless you have it fully zoomed in up to the top magnification power. That's the main difference between the first focal plane and the second focal plane, really. So I'm going to start off with the middle square, PMC bronze on top. 3 shots. Nice little group in the center there. All right, so next we have that, what was it, the Winchester 5.56 55 grain. I'm going to go top right square. See if she's hitting anywhere different. Low and to the right. All right, so next we have that green tip, 62 grain Winchester 5.56. I'll go top left square. A little bit heavier of a bullet. And last but not least, we have this steel case from Tula, 223 55 grain. I'm going to go bottom left square. Oh, these anti-fog glasses from M&P are fogging up. It's a little soupy out here, up in the northeast. The groups actually don't look that bad. I'm going to adjust the optic just a little bit to come up and to the left just a little bit. And let's head over to the 200 yard range and see what it's doing at that distance. All right, so here we are at 200 yards. I have this mag loaded up the same way as I did at the 50 yard range. I got the PMC bronze on top with the Winchester 5.56 55 grain, and then the green tip 62 grain below that, and then the 223 Tula steel case. Now, at this distance, the difference of impact should start to become more pronounced at this distance with the different types of ammo. That's why you should specifically zero your optic in your rifle with the specific type of ammunition that you're going to be shooting through the rifle. And at this distance, I will be at full magnification, so I could use the holdover lines if I need them, but I don't think there's going to be much bullet drop between 50 and 200 yards with the 5.56 or the 223. So let's let some fly down range. I'm just going to aim for the center of the target with all the rounds and see where they land. All right, now the Winchester 5.56 55 grain. This is actually a 1.5 pound trigger. That one I squeezed a little bit. It went off a little bit sooner than I wanted it to. Not sure where it impacted. All right, now the green tip, 62 grain, Winchester, 5.56. These ones are a little bit heavier. tend to Hulk grip this when I'm shooting long distance. That's a really bad habit. And now the Tula steel case 223, 55 grain. All right, let's go check those out. See how I did. All right, so at 200 yards, that's actually not that bad. It's pretty much all within my hand. And I was getting a little bit fatigued at the end and my glasses were starting to fog. No excuses, I know. I'm assuming this is the, I'll have to look at the video, but I'm assuming this is the PMC Bronze 223, which would be my choice of ammunition at this distance. It's a nice little group right there, assuming that is the all three together as a group. The rest of them, yeah, not too bad. I'll take that all day long. All right, here we are at 400. Let's see if we can connect with that steel down there with this 223 PMC Bronze. See if I need to use some of those holdover lines. I do have it dialed all the way up to 8, so it is to scale. Need to come up a little bit. I'm going to hold one line down to begin with. Up a little more. Two lines down. I believe that was a hit. It's tough to tell at this distance. Two lines down again. Yep, that's a hit. Not sure exactly where on the steel it's hitting, but I know it's hitting the steel at 2 lines down. Holding the second line down right at the bolt. Now I'm going to hold the second line down right on the stem. See if I'm still hitting. Now I'm going to come down a little bit. Give it like a line and a half at the bolt. Yep, that's a hit. We'll have to see on the camera what type of energy these are hitting with. So I believe 400 yards is about 100 yards out of the effective distance of the 223. That sure is a lot of fun. All right, so here I am at self-defense distances. At this distance, because the optic is so high above the bore, it's probably going to hit a little bit low, and it's good to get a hold point if you plan on using a AR-15 for anything 50 and in, especially. So let's take a few shots at this distance and see where it's hitting. I got it loaded up with the Winchester green tip, 62 grain, because that would be my ammo of choice if I was using it for home defense. So I'm going to hold right at the center. You know what? I'm going to illuminate it for this. Make it a lot easier because that black dot kind of blends in with the target. All right, so I'm going to go hold right at the center and see where it's hitting. I did bring it up an inch because it was a little bit low at 50. So actually that is low, but not as low as I expected it to be. So you want to hold just above. So I'm going to hold at that red dot, the small red dot, above the center. Much better. You get a nice little group in the center like that. All right, so that was a great day at the range. I have a ton of fun with this rifle whenever I'm at the range. With this optic on top, it just makes it so enjoyable. So I was a little disappointed with my 200-yard shots. I thought I had a nice 3-round group to start the that 12-round shot sequence off with, but it turns out I kind of spilled them all over the place, but they still stayed within a hand size. If I stuck with the same type ammunition and practiced more with it, I really could get those type groups. I'm confident with this rifle and this optic on top. This is the point where I ask you to subscribe to the channel, give me a like, feel free to comment, share this video out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is the Gun-Toting Pacifist. Stay active, stay alert, and stay armed. And one cheesy, cliche type note to end this video, just remember, my friend, that you are the weapon. This is just a tool.